Hello, welcome to the Wandering Drew. I am Drew. Today I'm going to deviate from my normal routine of going over some of the hikes I've done. I'm going to cover gear repair actually. My son recently borrowed one of my tents, and when he brought it back I set it up in the outside to air it out and just get any dirt off of it. And while rolling it up I noticed a small cut or tear on the floor of the tent at the bottom. What I've done is I ordered a repair kit, and this is the repair kit I'm going to be using. Bring it in there so you can see it. It's you can see it's called Tear Aid. So this is a Type A patch, they call it, and they'll tell you to use Gear Aid or Tear Aid and make sure it's Type A. I believe Type A is for things like this, tents, stuff like that, canvas. Other things like that. You can use it on sleeping bags, all that type of material. Where Type B, I believe, is plastic. So, but I'll look that up to make sure. And I've already taken the opportunity to locate the tear. I put black marker around it so that I would be able to see it again and find it. Because the fact that I found it when I was rolling it up was just by chance. I just happened to see a little tear, and I rolled it, and I rolled it back, and I started looking for it, and I was able to find it. So as you can see here, on the bottom of the tent, this is actually the bottom. And you can see there's still some sand on it. It's kind of embedded. But you can see this black circle. And if I pull it, hopefully you can see it. But there is a small tear right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and patch that. And the way to do it is to use the Tear Aid. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the area is clean. So I'm actually going to get an alcohol wipe and wipe it down. And I'm going to do the outside first, and then I'm going to do the inside. So what you're doing is you're patching both sides and making a sandwich with the tent in the middle. And that's what we're gonna do. I bought this larger kit. They do sell pre-cut pieces of different sizes. What I like about this is it's very easy for you to trim the pieces. It comes in a long strip, and there are different sizes, and you can just use a scissor to cut those and trim it. You wanna make sure your patch, anytime you're patching something, is larger than the tear. And they recommend at least 1 inch bigger, and sometimes a lot of people will go 2 inches bigger around it. So depending on how big the patch is, you might need to get a much larger piece of the Gear Aid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get the alcohol, wipe it down. I'll show you what that looks like. And then obviously you want to do this on a flat surface, as flat as could be. And you want to join the material as close as together as possible, so in their natural state. Another good thing about this Gear Aid patch is that it's see-through, so you can position it appropriately and get it in position before you put it on. Problem is, once you put it on, it's really quite sticky, so you want to try not to touch it. So here it is. This is a large patch, and I'm not going to need all this, so what you can do is you can cut it, and preferably you make rounded edges. And the reason why you do that is rounded edges generally don't end up furling or curling as much over use. And this is a permanent patch. Once this is done, this will bond, and I'll never hopefully have to visit this again. Matter of fact, hopefully the patch will survive and the area around it will wear out first. But we'll see about that. So what you can do is you peel this back, and it's sticky, and that'll stick on. So you want to be careful doing that, because once it's on, it's on. So yeah, this comes, it does come with directions, and it does come with wipes, so you can wipe it down with alcohol. So I'm going to use their prep pads. You can use regular alcohol from a bottle, but it's easy with a pad. You can just wipe it down. You can see here is a small patch. It comes with 2 pre-cut patches. They're really small, and then there's a large piece. I can probably use this pre-done patch. Has rounded corners already, and we'll see how big this is, and this will pretty much cover it exactly. But I'm going to cut another one to go on the inside, because I want to make a sandwich, so this way it's protected and bonded both inside and outside on both sides. So even if one maybe fails, both of them probably should not fail, and I won't get water intrusion, because I'm very worried about this, because this is the bottom of the tent. This looks like a very sharp tear, so I'm wondering if something sharp came across. I know I personally have damaged my tent by dropping a knife inside my tent, so that's a possibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and use this as a template, actually, and I'm going to do the outside, and then I'll do the inside of the tent. And all I'm doing is I'm going to match this up so they're both pretty much the same size. I might go a little bigger on the inside because I'm not worried about it. And you can see right here, all I'm doing is taking the scissor and I'm cutting it. Okay, so that's it. So what I'm doing is I'm just rounding the corners now, as you can see, so that you can easily put it down, and the rounded corners don't catch as much on stuff as it goes across it, and there's a less likelihood that it'll get caught on something and roll up, especially on the bottom of the tent. That's a concern. I have two pieces now. I'm going to actually use the larger one now on the outside, and I'm going to use the smaller one on the inside. Okay, so here's my two pieces. You can see them, and I'm going to do this here. So let's clean this to begin with. And all I'm doing is wiping this, and this just makes sure that there's no anything that's going to interfere, and it's clean. There's no dirt, there's no oil. You can see it's coming off quite dirty. So this is the bottom of the tent. So also I put that ink on there, which this should probably, it's a Sharpie, it should probably pick up a lot of that ink as well. It's fading, but it's not totally disappearing, since it was a permanent marker, which is okay for me. There's a couple of fibers coming loose from the tear, but other than that, it's a pretty good size hole, and it's matched up. Let me see if I could zoom you in a little bit more. It's hard to see out here because of the light, but I'm hoping that's very clear to you, and you can see there's a hole there. So that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, like I said, I'm going to use the larger patch on the outside. So all I want to do is peel up one end, and because it's see-through, I can kind of see where that hole is. The big thing is, like I said, to line up and match the material to its mate, where the tear is, so that it's as close as possible. Just like a cut on the skin, you want to line up. You want to line up both halves so that there's no gap in between them. You don't want it to be there's a gap in there, because that's the strongest thing. You want to bond the material back to each other. Let me see if I could get my thumb in here, my nail, and peel one of the corners back. I'm having a little difficulty here getting it in. I started peeling off the layer, and it's kind of see-through, but it's cloudy. And all I'm going to do is peel it halfway. I'm trying to try not to touch it. And all I'm doing is lining this up so that everything, I mean, if there's a little gap in there, it probably would still be good. But I want to try and do it as close as I can so that both edges are in their original position and there's less gap. Okay, and that's it. Now you want to rub it very aggressively. I'm just pushing down because you want to make sure you have a good bond. There's no part of this patch that's not bonded, that doesn't have a chance to stick. So that's all I'm doing. I'm using this over it so I don't scratch it or roll it up and tear it. But I'm going to basically go over, because this is like, like wax paper basically, so it won't stick on itself. But you can see right here the patch is now on, and it's really quite easy. I mean, you can see the circle that I drew around it, but it's clear, so you can't even tell. It looks like there's material over it, so it doesn't stand out too well. I guess you didn't have to mark it. I just marked it for ease of you to see it and for me to see it when I was rolling it up, because I had to actually order this patch kit. I did order off Amazon. It actually came in one day, so very, very fast delivery. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same thing on the inside using the smaller patch. And that's what's good about the black mark. Hopefully I can find it. So what I need to do now is go inside the tent. Now it's a matter of me finding the tear. So here it is. This is the inside of the tent. And what's good is that's why that black mark is so easy and good for you to do something like that, because I can see where that is. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the alcohol. Clean it. I'm using the same wipe. Hasn't been that long. You can see the outline. Well, I can. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I can see the outline of the that I drew, and I can see the outline of the patch. So this is going to make this tent pretty much good as new, as far as I'm concerned. So same thing. I'm going to put this patch right here, and it'll cover it. So, and this is one that was already cut. I didn't have to peel it. I didn't have to cut it. I mean, it was already shaped. So it's a little bit smaller. It doesn't quite cover the circle, but it covers the tear by a little bit. Unfortunately, I got my finger on my fingerprint in the adhesive a little bit. So now what I'm making sure is just that I have the adhesive is joined to the material, and if there's any gap, the material is joining the other material. If there was a hole and there was like a rip or a tear, I would like that material to join to each other. So now you have two pieces, two layers of tent there, of a material, type A repair material. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. Nothing to do, leave it. It's good to go right now. What's good about this is you can apply this even if out in the field. So you should carry, I believe that the tent did come with a repair kit, but I decided to keep that intact and use something newer and current. There is a patch that is the right size. I could have just used this, and this would have covered it, you know, quite ideally. But I want to save this for something that I really need. So it's a little bit bigger, and I could have used this on the bottom, but I'm saving it. So this will go with me when I go hiking. I'll put that patch, and maybe like a tear, I can cut a piece and take it with me. The good thing is this is good for all tents, sleeping bags. You can use it for your jackets probably, if you need to repair like a down jacket or a puffy, all these type of things. This is what you use type A patch for. Most tents come with a repair kit already, so you're gonna have this with you. I decided to buy a larger one so that I have more, and I can actually put it in my kit, because I have maybe used it in the past and I don't have it, or I want to carry a little bit more. Alcohol, usually you have anyway in your first aid kit, some alcohol wipes. So that's good. If you really didn't have the alcohol, you know, try and clean it as best you can with like water or soap. Let it dry, but alcohol is best because it makes sure there's no adhesive, no dirt or oil that's going to stop your patch from sticking. And that's it. What's good about this is airtight, so you can use it on your sleeping pads, your inflatable sleeping pads. It's waterproof, so it'll keep water out. For your tent, it'll keep the integrity. So rain gear, tents, all those type of things can be repaired with this. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll have no idea how this is turning out. I'm afraid it might have got washed out a little bit, but you can see here, this is the patch on the inside and the outside. This is the inside and this is the outside, and it's bonded, and hopefully it's good there. That's going to be it. So it's very, very simple. It's really not high tech, low tech. There are a couple of videos online other than this one that I'm doing, but you can easily find someone, I'm sure, that it would show you how to use this. Most of the manufacturers recommend that you use this product to repair their gear, and they might even have videos themselves. I don't know. This is a Big Agnes Tent. I believe they have a video on how to repair their stuff, but all I did was look online to see what they recommend to use, and once I saw it was a type A repair, I just ordered it, and I know what to do. I've done it before. So like I said, I have dropped a knife in my tent before and poked a hole in it, so I've had to do this. If you're using a specialist product, like I have a DCF tent, that's Dyneema composite fabric, used to be called Cuban fiber, a Z-Pax type tent, which is rubber, you have to use a different patch. I guess you could use this. I don't know if it would bond as well, but DCF tents, you use other DCF material, so you use that composite fabric, Dyneema composite fabric, and it comes in a roll, or they have patches, same similar type product already. You can buy them, or you can buy a roll and you just cut what you need. Exact same process, just using a different material. But that's it. The best thing to do is, if you're going to repair something, before you use this type of product, check with the manufacturer and see what they recommend. I know a lot of people carry duct tape and talk about it fixing all things, and it does. It would fix your tent and everything, but according to most the places, if you put duct tape on, you're going to have to clean all that residue off from it before you use it, because it's going to leave a sticky residue behind that may interfere with this bonding with your gear. So if you don't have the need to put duct tape on something out in the field, if you have this, use this. If you didn't have this and you had to use duct tape, just realize you might have to clean that off really well using more alcohol wipes to get all that gummy residue off of from the duct tape. Or if you use the duct tape on after, when you take the duct tape off and you want to use a more permanent repair, you may have a problem with bonding because of that. I think the duct tape would be fine to use as long as you clean it off. But I know some of the manufacturers warn you about using duct tape to repair their stuff before you use it. The best thing is whatever the manufacturer recommends, because they should know the product best. But obviously in the field, this is probably your ideal repair, more importantly than the duct tape that everybody carries. Tenacious tape will work as well. It's a more rigid product and is more geared toward repairing gear. So that's it. I've rambled on enough. Thank you so much for joining me. Give me a like, give me a comment. Let me know what your experience has been. If you've tried other products, or maybe another manufacturer recommends some other product that might be better to use. But that's it. Thank you so much. Take care. Till we meet again.